In the year 2230, humanity had spread among the stars. Space travel was no longer a dream but a reality. People lived on various planets, exploring the universe and searching for new life. Captain Maya Jennings was an adventurous space explorer. She led a crew aboard the spaceship, the Odyssey, on a mission to explore the distant planet, Xylar 7. Xylar 7 was known for its vibrant blue forests and purple mountains. Scientists believed it might have intelligent life. Maya and her crew were excited. The crew included Ryan, the engineer, Leah, the biologist, and Sam, the pilot. Together, they were ready for anything. As they approached Xylar 7, a strange energy wave disrupted their systems. The ship shook violently, and alarms blared. Maya quickly assessed the situation. They were losing control. "Sam, stabilize the ship," she shouted. Sam gripped the controls, but the ship was spiraling downwards. The Odyssey crashed into the soft soil of Xylar 7. After the dust settled, everyone was shaken but alive. "Is everyone okay?" Maya asked, checking on her crew. "I'm fine," Ryan exclaimed, rubbing his head. Leah nodded, and Sam looked relieved, but the worry was clear on his face. "We need to assess the damage," he said. Maya ordered everyone to exit the ship. They stepped onto the alien landscape, amazed by the beauty around them. The trees swayed gently, and strange glowing creatures fluttered above them. But there was no time to admire. They needed to check the ship. As they walked, they spotted something unusual in the distance. It looked like a figure lying on the ground. "What is that?" Leah asked, squinting her eyes. "Let's find out," Maya replied, leading the way. The crew cautiously approached. As they got closer, they could see it was a human. The person was unconscious and wearing tattered clothing. Ryan knelt by the figure. "Is it someone from Earth?" he wondered. "We need to help them," Leah said, her voice filled with urgency. They turned the person over and gasped. Their face was familiar. "This looks like Captain Thompson from the expedition to Mars," Sam exclaimed. "But how did he end up here?" Maya felt a rush of confusion and fear. Captain Thompson had disappeared years ago on a different mission. "He's been lost for so long," she murmured. "What happened to him?" They all looked at each other, questions filling their minds. Leah checked his vitals. "He's alive but unconscious. We should take him back to the ship," she suggested. They carefully lifted him and carried him back. Once inside the Odyssey, they laid him on a cot. "Let's see if we can wake him," Ryan said as he worked on hooking him up to the medical equipment. After a few minutes, Thompson's eyes fluttered open. He looked around, confused. "Where am I?" he asked weakly. "Xylar 7, Maya replied. "You were found unconscious. Can you tell us what happened?" Thompson took a deep breath, trying to gather his thoughts. "I was on a mission to explore the Andromeda sector when my ship was caught in a vortex. It pulled me through space and time. I crashed here, and I've been lost for years," he explained. The crew exchanged glances, shocked by his story. "Years?" Leah asked. "What do you mean?" Thompson looked at her. "Time works differently here. I thought only days passed for me, but it's been a long time on Earth." Maya's heart raced. "What have you seen? Are there other humans here?" Thompson paused, looking troubled. "I'm not sure. I encountered strange alien beings who helped me survive. They can manipulate time and space. They are not dangerous, but they changed me. I learned their language and culture." The crew looked worried. "What do you mean by changed?" Ryan asked. Thompson explained that the aliens had incredible technology. They had shown him secrets of the universe. But they also gave him a choice, to stay or to return home. He had chosen to explore, but now he regretted it. As they listened, a rumble shook the ground. What was that? Sam yelled, looking around. Suddenly, glowing creatures emerged from the forest, their forms shifting and changing. The aliens, Thompson whispered, fear in his eyes. Don't be afraid, he said. They won't hurt you. They want to communicate. The glowing beings surrounded the crew. One floated forward, glowing brighter than the rest. Thompson stepped forward, speaking in a language that sounded like music. Slowly, the beings calmed. Maya felt a wave of curiosity wash over her. What are they saying? Ryan asked. Thompson turned back to them. They say they're protectors of this planet. They saw my ship crash and brought me here. They want to help you too. Maya took a deep breath. Can they help us fix our ship? She asked. Yes, Thompson replied. They can rebuild it with their technology. The glowing creatures gestured, leading the crew to a hidden valley filled with incredible machines made of light and colors. The aliens worked swiftly, and soon the Odyssey was as good as new. They can manipulate materials at a molecular level, Thompson explained. That's why they can fix anything. When the repairs were finished, Maya turned to the aliens. Thank you for your help, she said sincerely. The glowing creature replied in the musical language, and Thompson translated, they say you are welcome to stay or leave, but they hope you will return. Maya looked at her crew. They had a choice. I think we should leave and tell others about this place, she said. But we must come back. There's so much to learn. Everyone agreed. As they boarded the Odyssey, Maya looked back at the aliens. They glowed gently, as if saying goodbye. The ship lifted off, leaving Xylar 7 behind. For Maya and her crew, their mission had taken an unexpected turn, revealing shocking truths about time, space, and the mysteries of the universe. The crew returned to Earth, telling their story of exploration and discovery. Captain Thompson, finally home, became a bridge between two worlds. Together, they would continue to explore the stars, forever curious about what lay beyond. A human was found on Anzylos. But how? Shocking truth revealed. The year is 2742. Captain Illyra Vance, a seasoned explorer for the Galactic Federation, stared at the monitor. The image was grainy, but unmistakable, a human being. Not a clone, not a genetically modified specimen, but a genuine Homo sapien, alive and breathing on Xylos, a planet deemed uninhabitable by humans. Xylos had a toxic atmosphere, extreme temperature fluctuations, and was home to creatures that looked like walking nightmares. Illyra's team, a diverse group of specialists, buzzed with excitement and confusion. Dr. Eris Thorne, the Federation's leading xenobiologist, was practically vibrating. Impossible, he muttered, adjusting his spectacles. Human life couldn't survive Xylos's conditions. Lieutenant Jax, Illyra's second-in-command, a stoic Vulcan, added, our sensors detected no life support systems near the location. The human is alone. The human, identified as John, was found near a peculiar, shimmering structure that looked like a giant crystal. He appeared young, perhaps in his early 20s, though his clothing was tattered and strange. His skin was tanned, almost leathery, and he possessed an uncanny strength, able to fend off Xylos's native predators with ease. The rescue operation was fraught with danger. The planet was a labyrinth of treacherous terrain and hostile creatures. But Illyra's team, equipped with advanced technology, managed to bring John back to their ship, the Stardust. Upon reaching the ship's medical bay, John's vital signs were extraordinary. His heart rate, respiratory rate, and even his cellular activity were completely out of the normal human range. Dr. Thorne examined him meticulously, his face a mask of awe and disbelief. His physiology. It's adapted, Dr. Thorne declared, his voice trembling slightly. He's undergone some kind of evolutionary leap. His DNA is altered. The altered DNA wasn't merely an adaptation to xylose, it showed a complex genetic manipulation. Not natural, but artificial. A deliberate modification. A genetic engineering beyond anything the Galactic Federation had ever encountered. Meanwhile, John, having recovered from the ordeal, remained stubbornly silent. He spoke a peculiar dialect, a mix of sounds and clicks, that no one could understand. He would occasionally gaze at the crystal-like structure that was captured with him from xylose, a look of yearning in his eyes. Days turned into weeks as the Federation's top scientists worked around the clock to decipher John's genetic code and translate his unique language. The mystery deepened. The altered genes indicated a technology that far surpassed their own. Then, a breakthrough. Dr. Eris managed to partially decode John's language. He discovered a cryptic message hidden within the altered DNA. It wasn't a simple sentence, but a complex algorithm. A code. The code, after weeks of intense work by the Federation's best cryptographers, finally revealed its secret, a series of coordinates. Coordinates that pinpointed a location in the far reaches of uncharted space. The coordinates led them to a derelict spaceship, a vessel of astonishing age and advanced technology. Inside, the ship held a shocking discovery: a library of knowledge, records of a long-lost civilization, a civilization far more advanced than anyone imagined. This civilization, known as the Alcyonians, had been studying human evolution for centuries, secretly intervening to accelerate their development. Xylose, it turned out, was their testing ground, a laboratory where they manipulated human DNA to create a species capable of surviving extreme environments. John was their most successful experiment. The Alcyonians had vanished, leaving behind only their advanced technology and the legacy of their experiments. John was a testament to their work, a living embodiment of their ambition. His modified genes weren't just an adaptation, they were a blueprint for a future humanity, a human species capable of conquering even the most hostile environments in the universe. The Federation was shaken. Their understanding of the universe, of life itself, was forever altered. John, once a mysterious enigma, became a symbol of hope and fear. Hope for a future where humans could transcend their limitations, fear for the unknown consequences of such advanced genetic engineering. Illyra, as she watched John study the recovered crystal from xylose, knew the discovery had opened up a Pandora's box. The legacy of the Alcyonians, their experiments, and the very existence of John raised more questions than answers. The Galactic Federation would spend centuries trying to comprehend the implications of what they had found. And John, the last remaining subject of their experiment, would continue to hold the key to a future no one could have predicted. The story of a human found on an uninhabitable planet was not just a scientific marvel, it was a testament to the boundless possibilities and dangers of advanced technology and the lengths to which some would go to shape the future of humanity. It was a cautionary tale, a revelation, and a beginning all rolled into one. In the not-so-distant future, humanity had made great advancements in space travel. The year was 2225. A spaceship named the Star Voyager was on a mission to explore distant planets. Its crew consisted of Captain Sarah Johnson, the fearless leader, Dr. Jake Mills, the curious scientist, Anna Lee, the brilliant engineer, and Timmy, the ship's friendly robot. One day, as they soared through the Milky Way, their sensors detected an unusual signal from a nearby planet called Zyklon. The planet was surrounded by a colorful ring of gas and had vibrant blue oceans and lush green forests. With excitement in her voice, Captain Sarah said, "Let's check it out." Set a course for Zyklon. As they approached Zyklon, the crew watched in awe at its beauty. Anna Lee began scanning the surface while Dr. Mills took notes in his data pad. Suddenly, the ship's alarms blared. "Captain, we are losing control," shouted Anna, her fingers flying over the controls. They had entered a storm of vibrant lightning that danced all around them. Sarah tried to regain control, but the turbulence was too strong. The ship spiraled down and with a loud crash, they landed on the once beautiful surface of Zyklon. The crew stumbled from the ship, shaking off the shock. They quickly gathered their gear and stepped outside. The air was thick with a sweet scent, and the sky was a brilliant shade of purple. "What a strange place," murmured Dr. Mills, fascinated by a nearby glowing flower. However, Sarah was more focused on finding shelter and ensuring everyone was safe. "We need to look for a way to fix the ship and get home." As they ventured deeper into the alien forest, they noticed that the trees were taller than any they had ever seen. Small creatures with iridescent skin darted around them. Suddenly, Timmy beeped loudly, "Danger detected." The crew froze, and in the clearing ahead, they saw a large creature. It resembled a dinosaur but had shimmering scales and 6 legs. "Stay calm," whispered Sarah. The creature sniffed the air but seemed more curious than aggressive. As they slowly backed away, Dr. Mills noticed something that made his heart race. "Look!" he exclaimed, pointing to something shiny among the bushes. It was a human figure lying on the ground. The crew rushed over, and their hearts pounded in their chests. The person was unconscious but alive. Who could this be? Wondered Anna, kneeling beside the stranger. Sarah checked for signs of life. The person was wearing advanced technology, much like their own suits. They must have come from another ship, she concluded. The crew quickly decided it was crucial to revive the person. Timmy scanned the surroundings while Dr. Mills worked on medical procedures he'd learned in school. With a soft beep and a few moments of waiting, the mysterious human opened their eyes. "Where am I?" they mumbled, clearly disoriented. "You are on the planet Zyklon," Sarah answered gently. "We're your rescuers." The stranger blinked and pushed themselves up to sit. "My name is Alex. I was on a mission to study this planet when my ship crashed. I've been here for weeks." Everyone exchanged glances. They could hardly believe their ears. "How did you survive?" asked Anna, her eyes wide with curiosity. Alex smiled weakly. "There are strange plants here that provide food, and I found a small freshwater spring." Dr. Mills looked excited. "You might have vital information about the planet." Before they could ask more questions, a low rumble echoed through the air. The ground started shaking, and the crew quickly realized that they needed to find shelter. "Follow me," shouted Sarah, and they ran into the nearby forest. They found a cave just as the shaking increased. Huddled inside, the group felt safe from the tremors. "What's happening?" Alex asked, clearly scared. Timmy's eyes glowed as he scanned the environment. "Planetary disruption detected. It seems there is seismic activity." Dr. Mills took this opportunity to ask Alex about the planet. "What do you know about Zyklon?" he inquired eagerly. Alex explained that Zyklon was rich in resources but also had unpredictable geological features. The beauty of the planet hid many dangers. Hours passed while the crew remained in the cave, listening to the shutters outside. They passed the time by sharing stories and bonding. Alex told them about his mission, and they all learned a lot about each other's worlds. "You are all brave," he said, inspiring confidence in everyone. Finally, when the ground settled, Sarah suggested they should explore and look for materials to fix their ship. "We must get back home," she urged. Together, the group ventured out, with Alex leading the way based on his previous explorations. They encountered amazing sights, waterfalls of sparkling purple water and glowing rocks that lit up the path. But it wasn't long before they realized they were not alone. A group of small aliens appeared. They were curious but not hostile. They had large eyes and colorful skin, and they seemed to communicate without sounds. Anna observed them closely, fascinated. "I think they want to help us," she said, smiling. The aliens guided the crew to a hidden area where they stored various resources. They used strange tools to reveal materials that could aid in repairing the Star Voyager. Working together, the crew and the aliens formed a small team. The crew learned how to use the unique tools, and within hours, they had successfully repaired enough parts to get the ship operational again. Their hearts brimming with joy, they returned to their ship. As they boarded, Alex turned to the crew with gratitude. "Thank you for rescuing me. You've been the best part of my journey here." They all smiled, and Sarah promised, "You're coming with us." With engines roaring, the Star Voyager lifted off the ground. They waved goodbye to the aliens who had helped them. As the ship soared into space, everyone felt a new sense of friendship and adventure. The universe was vast, full of mysteries and marvelous worlds awaiting exploration. Years later, back on Earth, Captain Sarah and her crew would always remember Zyklon and their encounter. They had found not only a human on an alien planet but also learned about the incredible bonds that could be formed among all forms of life in the universe. The spaceship shuddered, a low groan vibrating through its metallic bones. Captain Illyra, her brow furrowed in concentration, gripped the controls. Beside her, Xylo, the ship's navigator, nervously tapped his clawed fingers on the console. They were on the fringes of the Xylo system, a region known for its unpredictable nebulae and whispered rumors of uncharted planets. Their mission, a routine survey of a newly discovered star system. Their discovery, something far beyond routine. A faint signal, a desperate pulse of energy, had cut through the static. It led them to Xylos 4, a planet cloaked in a swirling purple atmosphere, a world that shouldn't have supported life. As they descended, the purple haze thinned, revealing a landscape of bizarre, towering flora and strangely luminescent fungi. Landing was tricky, the ground unstable beneath the ship's magnetic levitation pads. The crew, 5 in all, Illyra, Xylo, the engineer Zorp, the botanist Lyra, and the medic, a kind-faced being named Kira, prepared for a surface exploration. Their suits hummed with life support, shielding them from the planet's unique atmosphere. They found him near a towering, phosphorescent mushroom, lying unconscious amidst strange, glowing plants. He was human. His skin was pale, his hair a sandy brown, his clothes tattered and worn, bearing the insignia of a long-lost Earth colony. Kira immediately began checking his vital signs. He was alive, though weak and dehydrated. "He's human," Kira stated, her voice echoing in their helmets. "But, how?" The discovery stunned them. Earth colonies had been wiped out centuries ago. This man was a relic, a ghost from a lost era. They carefully carried him back to the ship, a fragile bridge between two worlds. On the ship, they worked tirelessly to revive him. Zorp rigged up a makeshift intravenous drip, Kira monitored his vitals, Lyra collected samples of the strange flora surrounding his resting place. Xylo, ever practical, scanned the area for any signs of other life or wreckage, his sensors picking up a faint metallic resonance a few kilometers away. Days turned into weeks as the man, whom they named Alex, slowly regained consciousness. His eyes fluttered open, gazing at the unfamiliar faces, their expressions a mix of awe and curiosity. He was confused, disoriented. He remembered a crashed transport ship, a desperate struggle for survival, then nothing. He couldn't explain how he'd survived for so long. His memories were fragmented, filled with flashes of violence and despair, of a desperate fight against the elements and possibly, other life forms. The crew, in turn, shared what they knew. The Xylo system was a mystery, a puzzle piece that didn't seem to fit. They showed Alex images of Earth, images he saw with a mixture of wonder and pain. He remembered his home, a place he'd never thought he'd see again. Their careful questioning revealed bits and pieces of his past. He was a pilot, part of a small scouting mission that went wrong. His ship was caught in a gravitational anomaly, hurled across vast distances, finally crashing on this alien world. Their curiosity grew. The metallic resonance Xylo had detected was investigated. It led them to the wreckage of his ship, half buried in the glowing earth. Inside, data logs were retrieved revealing a terrible truth. The mission Alex was part of was a secret one, a last-ditch effort to find a new home for humanity after Earth's fall. The details of the colony's destruction were far grimmer than they had ever imagined. Illyra, ever the leader, felt a growing weight of responsibility. Alex was not just a survivor, he was the last piece of a tragic history. His rescue was more than just a scientific feat, it was a momentous discovery, a chance to rewrite the narrative of humanity's past. Their own mission changed. It was no longer a simple survey. It became a search for answers, a quest to understand the fate of the lost colony and perhaps, to find a way to honor their memory. The investigation of the crashed transport ship uncovered further details about the mission. A biological weapon, a failed terraforming attempt, a desperate fight for survival, the logs painted a grim picture of a colony struggling to survive against impossible odds. The information was jarring and horrifying. The colonists were not just victims of a failed mission but also victims of their own creation. The discovery also revealed potential dangers lurking on Xylos 4. The planet wasn't as desolate as they initially thought. The glowing flora were not simply beautiful, they were potentially dangerous, their light masking something far more sinister. Alex's survival was a miracle, but his presence was a potential threat. The planet could harbor something far more dangerous than they had ever imagined, something that might be attracted to the human presence, a predatory life form lying in wait. The crew faced a dilemma: should they attempt to contact Earth's governing bodies with their findings or keep their discoveries secret? The weight of their decision hung heavy in the air, their future uncertain. But one thing was certain, their discovery had transformed their mission, turning a simple exploration into a fight for survival, a race against time, and a potential lifeline for the lost remnants of humanity. The story of Alex, the lone survivor, had just begun.